Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to review the two hotfixes that came out to the game pretty quickly too. I think hotfix 1 came out on the day of advanced access, and the second hotfix came out today. So hats off to the devs for trying to address fan feedback as much as possible. I want to talk about some ideas I have to help kickstart the engagement, of the game with new players. I definitely know new players are hitting the scene and, seeing some issues on review, but thankfully that was also addressed in the hotfixes. And then talk about some future cool ideas that I have for you guys. So let's get started with hotfix number 1. Like I said, this was posted yesterday on the launch of Advanced Access. So let's go through it. So Advanced Access hotfix number 1, fixed an issue with the mission, the Big Wave, preventing players from playing the mission. Great. Fixed an issue with Operation Cold Harbor, preventing players from playing that mission. And fixed an issue with the PvP mission, Baltisk Invasion, which made players disconnect after a short amount of time. I am honestly personally happy to see that the devs are paying attention to and investing on the single player side. They're obviously spending time to work on it and make sure that it's accessible to the community. So let's talk about some of the Steam reviews and some of the general concerns. I think, I posted my thoughts on my day one impressions, right? Of, hey, the game is stable, seems fairly balanced, performance seemed okay, servers were running. Man, I had not a complaint in the world, but silly me, sorry, folks. I did not engage with the single player at all. I am one that does enjoy the back and forth nature of a multiplayer match, but absolutely, I totally also love playing single player. So I had no idea that they didn't have 1v1 or 2v2 enabled, and that was a concern. Well, guess what? Again, hats off to the devs. Look at this. Look at the patch they released today. So, skirmish mode. I can't tell you how many times I saw in the Steam reviews people saying, what kind of RTS does it involve, a 1v1 or 2v2 versus AI skirmish mode? And here we go. So they said, first off, current version of the skirmish mode does not match people's expectations. Today, we're releasing a fix enabling 1v1 and 2v2 versus AI. All right, so it was a precise choice, so that they're saying that it was intentional to disable 1v AI and 2v AI because the current maps are not designed for less than 3 players per team. The AI will also be improved, as currently it will be a bit passive on certain maps. The developers will keep working on the skirmish mode until it becomes a complete mode and a thoroughly fun experience. That's awesome. Having a wider selection of balanced maps available and also allowing for bots as teammates. Broken Arrow is a game we intend to support for many years. That's great, and improving the skirmish mode will just be the first step. They have mentioned this quite a lot, and even to the dismay of the multiplayer community, they did say during development that they have a huge focus to making an engaging single-player experience, and I definitely can see that they have put a lot of effort there. Not only they do have a campaign, which is interesting because I feel like some people said that there was no campaign in the game. I literally read 2 Steam reviews that were saying, there's no campaign. And, we can just very quickly go to the play button and I don't know. So maybe this screen is confusing. I don't know. There's home and it does just say quick match. It's right here. So I don't know, but there is a campaign. But not only that, right? They have the campaign. They have the scenarios, which is where it actually allow community content. People can make their own kind of custom scenarios. I doubt there's a lot of those up right now, but they will be there and they're going to be available in the Steam Workshop. And then we also have the skirmish mode, which now they've added the 1v1 and 2v2. So we can just lock these right here, right? And then friendly forces, you can, choose Russia, do here, and then, let's see, switch team. Where is the... So we are on Skirmish. Did I... Skirmish? Okay, you're already in the lobby, so let's try this again. Okay, so I'm back here again. Not sure... Difficulty. Okay, so you can make the bots easier or not. You can switch sides. Wonder why... What I'm missing here with this. Choose Baltisk, select. Ah, okay, so you have to pick a map. My bad. Well, hey, we're all learning together. Maybe I would have been one of those raging on the Steam reviews that, I can't figure out how to make this work. So here we go, and then it looks like, look, we can just lock these slots. So now you can have a 1v1 versus Guard Tank Brigade, and you can even pick their battle group. So you can fight against a very specific type of AI, you can make them more difficult, and here you go. Right, so there it is. I can play Baltisk 1v1. Awesome. Thank you very much. Cool. So that's that skirmish mode. Big wave mission. Looks like this is the second fix they've had. Yeah, because big wave where it wouldn't work. Now they've released a fix saying we're aware of an issue preventing players from completing the big wave. Looks like they're still trying to fix that. Blackout. Issue preventing some players from completing blackout. And then they do mention there are some connectivity issues in Russia. It seems like that's not on their end. There might be an infrastructure issue over there, and working on fixing the localization, which is usually just language and typos. And then they've mentioned here that, hey, we have some cool things we want to go over in the future, but for now we're going to focus on fixing the current problems. I am so excited about that. So just to recap, people were complaining that the skirmish mode wasn't accessible for 1v1, 2v2. They added that in, and they're going to be addressing any immediate concerns before they start talking about future plans. I love that. Now, as you might know, I am really, really big on this Arsenal army builder right here. This is a huge part of enjoying the game, and I want to take this to the next level. And I want to really engage with you guys on everything that this here is. That's why I made a video on what I thought was, kind of key steps for building a deck. Is you just got to understand what role do you want to fill, what map you're going to kind of be on, and then what your main units are going to be, right? What are your core units? So what I thought was I'm going to make kind of a couple of series of videos, because if you look here in your profile, right, it has specialization, combination, progression. A little mouthful. So the devs are encouraging you, hey, like, play every combination of deck. So you know what? I'm gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make basically one of every deck combination, and I'm gonna break these out in videos and then try to really review that, right? So talk about, hey, when you mix a marine deck and a striker deck, here is an idea that I have for it, because I really don't think the whole this is the best deck in the game and you have to play this, I do not think that is the way to engage with Broken Arrow, because I just went through this recently, right? If you watched my video on basically this ground urban assault deck, when I was just playing around the deck builder, I put this deck together and I thought, oh my gosh, I have cracked the Da Vinci Code of Broken Arrow. This deck is amazing. There is nothing that can stop this. I have everything. I have an amazing recon team. I have amazing infantry. I have tanks. I have long range AT. I have, SHORAD. I have mortars. I have the whole air assault. I got, precision bombers and, fighters. I got everything I need. Well, sure enough, after playing this deck for 3 games, I'm like, okay, definitely got some things I need to work on. And I think that would be so cool to engage with you guys with this mechanic of the game. And so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be building out deck combinations, kind of talking through my build process. Why did I choose Green Beret Snipers? Why did I choose a special tactics team? What was my plan here? Because actually, as you might notice from my last video, these guys used to have the flash launcher. Now they're Green Beret Snipers, and honestly, I'm probably gonna get rid of them. So I, want to kind of talk through my evolution and process of going through these decks. And then I actually want to take another segment, another series, and I want you guys to send me screenshots of your decks, and I'm going to plan. And I'm going to highlight the strengths and the weaknesses of the deck and kind of create that discussion, right? Because again, you guys are going to be building decks. You guys are going to want to be trying stuff out. That's really where I want to get. I want to give you guys some ideas, and then I want you to engage with the system, and then, hey, let's have some fun and actually look at these decks together and talk about what they can do and what they need help with. Because I really don't believe there is a bad deck in Broken Arrow. Crazy to think. I don't think there's a bad deck. I think there is a deck that is just either more niche, which it has a just smaller use case, and then there's decks that can kind of generally do everything. I know right now the community is really, really hot on the Spec Ops and Striker deck. This guy. And of course, see, now I built mine kind of as a meme with these, you know, cruise missile spam kind of bombers. But when I look at this deck, you know, yes, you have very powerful strikers that you can call out with all of that. You have some artillery, you have some long-range AA, but it's a kind of a jack-of-all-trades deck. Now, I haven't played it, so I can't really give my tried and true tested impression. But at a glance, right, and if I were to actually rebuild this and try to be a little more serious, maybe I'd have a different deck to show you. But I was just messing around this morning before going to work, and, you know, cruising for a bruising is kind of what I came up for. And I felt like this was more of a heavy air recon type of deck, you know, but it does have some ground forces and, of course, the strikers and all that. So anyway, guys, that's my plan. Super excited to just kind of give these little updates here as patches and hotfixes come out, and then to let you know that, hey, I want you guys to let me know what you think of the decks you're working on. Tell me what you are excited about. Tell me what's not working for you, right? Because ultimately I want the idea to be that, hey, every combination of deck, right, if the devs are going to be as bold to say every combination is getting listed here for progression, then that means every deck is viable. And I want to challenge that. And I want you guys to join me in that. So I hope you have a great day. Love you all. Can't wait to see what you have in mind for your deck ideas. Yeah, let's have some fun. All right. See you later.